What would you do if you woke up one day and had to learn how to read and write all over again? Nyaruai Gitonga suffered 50% brain damage, and medics predicted that she would be left in a vegetative state for the rest of her life. But her sheer will stunned all those around her. In this week's Survivor Series, Catherine Amondo brings you Nyaruai's story.
Painful journey. Each step 25-year-old Nyaruai Gitonga has made has been with purpose and determination. Today, almost 5 years later, it's difficult to tell that she was involved in a grisly road accident back in mid-2009 that had initially threatened to disrupt her life for good.
The last thing I remember, because I was working at night, so I last remember entering into the car and putting on my seatbelt.
When she came in, she was critically unwell. She was unconscious. Actually was thought to have been dead by the time that she was found by the police.
I don't know.
The events of that fateful night are faint in her memory. It is not clear what caused the accident, but the driver lost control before the car spun and rolled several times along University Way. Only Nyaruai made it out of the mangled mess, barely alive.
She was in ICU for a long time. She had a tube in her mouth that was assisting her to breathe that was attached to a machine. That tube is usually left in for 14 days. If a patient requires a longer period of support, then we have to make a hole in their neck to continue that support, and that's why she had that hole, which is in medical terms called a tracheostomy. Yeah.
It was hell on earth for Nyaruai as she lay on this bed at the intensive care unit of the Karen Hospital for nearly 2 months. Before regaining consciousness, every day her parents and sister would be by her bed.
Yes, I am blessed with a very nice mother who actually, when I was in hospital, she basically quit her job to take care of me.
Well, medical teaching, as long when you're in a coma, we assume that if the brain function is still there, we assume that you're still able to hear, you're still able to interact in that sense with the surroundings. And so, I guess from our point of view, positive reinforcement, being careful about what we say when we're around the patient is extremely important. And just keep urging a person to get better is extremely important. Yeah.
I think I imagine myself thinking that I have both my hands, I have both my legs, my face has no bandages. I think from there you can't be greedy. Yeah, you just go with the basics.
The minute she opened her eyes, Nyaruai began one of the hardest tests fate had bestowed on her young shoulders. Her life, as she knew it, for 20 years changed forever.
Everyone was always, you know, doctors have this thing of giving you, I think it's like the worst news. It's like, because I think once I survived the week, then they were like, okay, she might live. So then now when you wake up, the first thing was, you'll never walk again. Because I also had brain damage. I had 50% brain damage, and that basically means that 50% of my mind and my abilities, those are the basic ones of walking, talking, thinking, writing, what had been erased. So I think they may have told my parents that that may be it. Yeah. Yeah, that's me from there henceforth.
But she did not accept her predicted fate and made a conscious, albeit agonizing decision to relearn all the abilities she had lost, including the most basic.
The first thing was sitting up. Yes. Because you're in a hospital bed, you're lying flat. So the first step was sitting up. And the pain was so out of this world because, your back is not used to any kind of pressure whatsoever. When you sit down and you put the pressure on your back, I think sitting was the most punishing thing ever.
The The average healthy person tends to take a lot of things for granted, including standing on their own 2 feet. For Nyaruai, it took 2 months to learn how to stand, let alone walk, and she had to use this machine known as a tilt board.
So you're taken from your wheelchair when you can finally sit for as short time as you can. You're wheeled down to physiotherapy, and then you're transferred from your wheelchair to the flat table, so if you're lying down. Then the standing table, it's elevated, so when you're standing upright. So I remember the first time that happened is they started screaming, put me down, put me down, put me down, oh my God, oh my. My mom was there, my sister was there, and it was the most scariest thing ever.
Everybody is different, and given the severity of the injury, how long she'd been unconscious for, I mean, she recovered rather quickly, in the sense that I think she had age going for her, and she didn't have any other medical problems from before, and she had a very supportive family, and she was, I mean, her will was there. She wanted to get better.
In December 2009, Nyaruai returned to her family home. Although it would take her an hour to dress or up to 15 minutes to go up a flight of stairs, she had relearned basic body movements. However, she was only halfway through her journey to recovery.
When I went home, I'm not even sure. I think that's how I realized I couldn't read. Yeah, by the way, that must have been it. I went home, and then there were comics. We have Archies in the house. So I saw it, I was like, let me read. So I took it, I opened the first page. I think Archie was there, maybe in Jughead and someone. So the first, what's it called? Is it a bubble? The first speech bubble, yes, the first speech bubble. I read the first 2 words. I don't know, it was maybe like, hey there. Then my brain, it short-circuited. It became fried. And that was it. That was my reading experience. 2 words.
What were you feeling when you were feeling tired? You were feeling...
I felt that my brain was done. It was it. I've put in all this effort. I have read my 2 words. I think I was mentally, after... Maybe it's equivalent to maybe studying for 4 nights without sleep. In those 2 words, that was it. In fact, I'll write for you what I used to learn. I'll try it again. To write, it took me, I think, 7 months to be able to write just enough in school to get by, but it was a struggle. My hands get tired. The handwriting was not illegible even for myself. But it was bearable after 7 months. That was for writing, and I think also for reading.
Nyaruai has made major steps, quite literally. She holds a bachelor's degree in commerce after graduating with honors from the University of Nairobi.
When I was leaving, when I joined university there, I wrote in my somewhere that I will graduate with second uppers, honors. I knew honors was a bit of a stretch. But still. But yes, you see, if I went to school and worked at just being until I graduated with the pass, it's not good enough. You need to be the best, despite what happened.
Nurses who worked tirelessly to get Nyaruai back can hardly recognize the new Nyaruai. Today, Nyaruai can walk long distances. She even takes her morning runs regularly. It has taken years of hard work, intensive physiotherapy, and sheer determination.
And when you have a low likelihood of recovery, it's always good to have these, miracle stories where somebody's able to wake up out of a coma and then actually go back to a normal life and function normally. So
I've been trying to find a way to say thank you to everyone because there are too many people. So I'm hoping that everyone can hear me say thank you. The path has come to an end. You can see I am well. Your prayers worked. I think this is the vision of the power of prayer. Yes, and faith and positive energy. So thank you.
Catherine Wando for the Survivor Series.